Despite its name, it's actually quite an old town. In fact, it was actually the capital of the Isle of Wight for a long time, for quite some centuries. The Newtown was created in 1256 by the Bishop of Winchester. He divided the land into 73 burgages, which are long, thin strips of land, which he rented out. By the mid-1300s, around 300 people lived here, making a living from farming and trade from the harbour. However, the town was burnt down by the French attack in 1377. Here you can actually see the burgages that the Bishop of Winchester rented out. Now, it was very unusual way back into the early medieval period. People could rent land like this, so instead of being serfs to the land or to the landlord, people could actually raise an income, they could make money. This is the Newtown Old Town Hall. So Newtown developed as a commercial centre, as stated, in the borough in the 14th century. However, it failed to recover after a French raid in the 1377, as I mentioned, and Queen Elizabeth I awarded the town 2 parliamentary seats to try to stimulate economic development in 1584. In the late 17th century, the mayor and burgesses decided to commission a town hall in order to be able to exercise the privileges afforded to them of holding dinners at which they would confirm the names of the candidates for the 2 seats. Some interesting facts about the town. Well, I say town, it's a tiny little village now, but it was originally called Francheville, meaning Freetown, and only later renamed Newtown. It was probably founded, therefore, before the Norman conquest. There is some indication that it was attacked by the Danes in around about 1000. The earliest known charter was granted by the Bishop-elect of Winchester, which I mentioned before. He signed it as an ecclesiastical estate of Swainston Manor in 1256, so the history goes back at least 800 years, but most likely much earlier than that. The early hopes for its success are reflected in the names of its streets. So we have Gold Street, Silver Street, etc. However, it would have had stiff competition from Yarmouth, Newport and Southampton. In 1284 it was somewhat reluctantly given to Edward I. Apparently there were about 60 families living in Newtown at the start of the 14th century. There is a visitors centre you can visit. It's part of the National Trust, and they have various exhibitions on. There's also some additional information about the wildlife, because it's a very popular area for bird watchers in particular. In fact, there's actually a building specifically for bird watching if you're inclined towards that kind of thing. For me, I'm more of a sailor, so I'm going to discuss the sailing entrance shortly. Probably best to come on a rising tide. That way, even with my bilge keel, I've still had a few problems occasionally at very low water deeps, springs rather. So I'd take extreme caution. I'm going to put a link to a pilotage website just below, so you can have a look yourself. The anchorage just to the east is absolutely excellent, and you can drop it. It's just to be careful because people do tend to dock quite closely to one another, or anchor rather, quite close to one another. The swinging moorings belong to the National Trust and they are expensive. I left mine there between 2 weekends once. I won't do that again. But it is a beautiful anchorage, so if you just want to stay overnight. Now let's just enjoy the views.